In college, I knew this girl that absolutely hated me. I don't know what I did to her, but when I sat next to her, she'd look mad enough to bite me. At first, I thought it was all in my head until I tried to join her group for a game. Join another group, we don't want you here! Well, dang. And fam, that was when I realized the power I had. With a single greeting, I could ruin her day. And from then on, I became the friendliest person in class. Then I started greeting her outside of class. But then it started to get boring. How can I take this farther? So I found out where she lived and befriended all her roommates. So after a long day of avoiding me, she could come home and I could offer her brownies.
This story time is how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. By the way, we're calling her Jamie. So growing up, me and Jamie never got along. She always talked bad about my mom and how my mom broke her family apart. She always had a problem with me, but I'd ignore her. Jamie was very insecure too. She always compared how he looked and would always say I was spoiled. And she only said that because last Christmas I received way more presents than her, but that was because my dad got me those presents. One day we got in an argument over cheese curls. She was upset because I took the last of it and she pushed me and knocked all the cheese curls on the floor. My mom came in the kitchen asking what happened. I told her what Jamie did. So my mom gripped her up by the neck and told her to go into her room and think about what she has done to me. Jamie stayed in her room all day. She never came back out to apologize. Night come and I went into my room to go to sleep. As I was sleeping, I felt something touching my head. When I got up, I saw all my hair on my pillow and Jamie with scissors. If y'all want to know what I did after that, let me know down below in the comments. This is part 2 of how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. So after I woke up out of my sleep, I saw all my hair on my pillow and Jamie with scissors. I've never screamed so loud in my life. I tried to get back at Jamie, but she had scissors in her hand and threatened to cut me if I didn't back up. It was like she wanted to physically harm me. So I took the little karaoke machine and threw it at her, but it fell on her leg and she started crying. I was confused because the karaoke machine wasn't even that heavy. Jamie's dad walked into the room asking what happened, and Jamie said that I threw the karaoke machine at her. And my stepdad yelled at me asking, why would you do that? And then asked me what happened to my hair. I pointed at Jamie and said, Jamie cut all of my hair off. My stepdad looked at me like I was crazy and picked up Jamie and took her to the bathroom. I was mad because I knew Jamie was faking it. Then I went to my parents' room and told my mom that Jamie cut all of my hair off. If y'all want to know what happened after that, let me know down below in the comments. This is part 3 of how my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. So after I threw the karaoke machine at Jamie, she pretended to be hurt and my stepdad picked her up and took her into the bathroom. I quickly ran into my parents' room and I told my mom that Jamie cut all of my hair off. My mom got upset and asked my stepfather, did he not see my hair? He said, well, I threw the karaoke machine at Jamie. I yelled and told him that Jamie cut all of my hair off, which is the reason why I threw the karaoke machine at her, and she's faking it. My stepdad turned to Jamie and asked her, did she really do that? Jamie lied at first and said no. When me and my mom walked into the bathroom, she said yes, and that she only did it because my mom beat her. My mom was so confused. My stepdad said, you beat my child? After this, it get real messy, and I don't know if you guys want me to get into it, but let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to know what happened after that. This is part 4 for my jealous stepsister cut all of my hair off when I was asleep. I wasn't really expecting to make a part 4 because it gets messy after this, but since y'all asked for it, here I go. So after Jamie cut all of my hair off and lied and told her dad that the reason why she cut my hair off because my mom beat her, her dad got really upset and actually thought my mom hit her. So our parents got into a whole argument and my mom was upset because he wasn't believing her. And my mom knew it was her word against his daughter and that there was no convincing. So my mom decided to leave. After 30 minutes of me and my mom packing up her things, Jamie went to her dad crying, saying that she lied and that my mom didn't beat her and that she apologized for cutting my hair. Her dad was really upset and made her apologize to me and my mom. Her dad apologized for not believing my mom, but it took my mom some time to come around. But at the end, everyone made peace and we were all good. Crazy thing is, after the whole situation was over, I was still bald.
So my friend's coworker went on a Tinder date with a guy and it went super well, and they went on 3 more dates. And after the 3rd date, he asked her to come over so he could cook for her, and she was super excited. And so she went to his house and he cooked her dinner, and the date went great. But after she ate, she started to feel really sick. And she said, "Where's your bathroom?" And he ran to the bathroom and he said, "You can't come in here. It's very dirty. I have to clean it before you come in here." And he was in there a really long time. And she ended up shitting her pants. And he came out of the bathroom and he said, "Did you shit your pants?" And she said, "Yes, I shit my pants." And so he was so understanding, and he said, "It's okay, take a shower. Give me your laundry. I will do your laundry. Give me your dirty clothes." So she did. She rolled them up. She gave him her dirty pants. And she got in the shower and she took a shower, and he knocked on the door to check on her after her shower, and she opened the door to say thank you. And he was standing there covered head to toe naked with her shit smeared on him.
Storytime. My boyfriend tried to kill me so he could have my life insurance money. So I decided to go on Tinder to look for some potential matches. And lo and behold, a guy named Jared was there. He was adorable, he was charming, and we had multiple cell phone calls before deciding to meet. We met at Red Lobster, and it was like fireworks. He was so romantic and looked like a 6-foot-something cowboy. He took me to a wildlife bird refuge after dinner, and I instantly fell for him. We dated for months, and everything was mostly good. However, he was just very pressuring for things. And I didn't want to take things too fast. I was 21 and he was 31. Eventually, this just gave me some bad vibes, so I decided to cut off the relationship. But a few months later, he called me saying that he couldn't forget me. He had been married before and his wife had passed away, so I felt very sympathetic towards him. He had a really nice job, making over $150K a year, and he said that all he wanted to do was take care of me and my child. So I moved in and things were good again. I would wake up in the morning, he would make me coffee, and I would help him with his kids. But I noticed that my weight was starting to go down. And that's when I realized he was putting something in my coffee. Follow me on Insta and stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 to my boyfriend trying to kill me to get my life insurance money. I was not feeling very well, and my parents were extremely worried about me, especially once they found out I only weighed 88 pounds. I knew I had to have been really, really ill, so my parents drove down 5 hours to rescue me, and I was immediately hospitalized. That's when I was able to put together the full story on what was going on. He started putting all the money that he was making into my bank account, but he didn't let me have access to it. He would take out loans in my name, making it look like I was making money. And my life insurance policy added to $500,000. During this time in the hospital, I was going through severe withdrawals from whatever he was putting into my coffee. But the second I stopped drinking it, I started to gain weight back. I was thinking that maybe he had done this to his previous wife. However, when I looked her up, I found out that she was still alive. They were just divorced. Later, I was able to find out that they even moved back in with each other. Make sure you don't ever get too blinded by love to realize that you're being taken advantage of. Follow me on Instagram, and if you have a story, DM me.
This story time is from a follower on why she regrets getting breast implants. She had breast implants and then she had to get them removed, and now she has no left breast at all. She says she wants everyone to know her experience before making a decision of getting them. By the way, we're calling her Chloe, and at the time she was 23. Spring of 2018 is when she felt ready to get work done on her breasts. Chloe was always the skinny type, and she felt like her breast would never grow because she's been an A cup since 7th grade, and she said she wasn't ever insecure about them. It was just something she wanted for herself, so she saved up to get the procedure done, and she went to her appointment and then finally got her implants put in. The doctor told her it would take 6 to 8 weeks to heal and 3 months for everything to sit in place, and she'd be all right. So she expected the soreness and tenderness, but even at the 3 months, her breasts were still in pain, and at 4 months, the pain was going away, but she couldn't feel either of her breasts. And she noticed her left breast had turned completely black, and that's not even the worst part, like for part 2. This is part 2 of why Chloe regrets getting breast implants. Like I said earlier, Chloe got her breast implants done, and she couldn't feel either of them, and her left breast had turned completely black. It didn't happen in one day. She saw discoloration at first, but then it gradually turned black. Also, those 4 months, she felt fatigue, nauseous, sick all the time. After seeing what was happening to her breasts, she went to the emergency room, and they had planned to take them out. The implants were black. She was told it was because fungus had made its way into her bloodstreams. They ended up taking both of her implants out, and her left breast she had to get completely removed because the tissue was dying, and now her breast is more deflated than before she got the implants. End of the story. She don't think everyone's body is made for these type of surgeries, and she wished she was told that this could be a complication before even getting them.
Storytime. I was kidnapped by someone that I thought was a friend. So I was in desperate need of a girls trip, so I hit up my 3 friends that were outside of my state, Maggie, Sarah, and Amber. All fake names, obviously. I made plans and arrangements so that I could come visit them. Another friend of mine that knew them offered to drive me down. His name was Max. I was super thankful for this because my family didn't want me to drive there by myself. So I made sure they had his and my number before I took off. But the second that I got into the car, I had a really weird gut feeling. My stomach started to turn, but I didn't listen to it. I kept messaging my friends how excited I was to see them the closer I got, but then they just stopped messaging me. They wouldn't answer my calls either, and Max pulled me over to a gas station saying that we're about 30 minutes away from our destination. So I thought. I needed a bathroom break, so I went inside the gas station, but that's when Max took me by the arm and walked in with me. He wouldn't let me leave his side, even for a bathroom break, and that's when he took my cell phone away, and I knew that I was in trouble. I still didn't say anything out of fear, but after we got back into the car, he gave me some juice, and then I passed out. Stay tuned for part 2 and follow me on Instagram. Storytime part 2, I was kidnapped by someone I thought was my friend. So after drinking whatever he gave me, I woke up after a few hours, and I was not with my girlfriends. I was 3 hours away from my home, and I didn't know this at the time, but I was at his house. My family knew that they hadn't heard from me in hours and started to get worried. They tried to get a hold of me, but obviously couldn't because I didn't have my cell phone. So they called Max. And I literally watched this man answer his phone and say that he didn't know me and doesn't know what they're talking about. Almost immediately after this happened, the cops called him. And I have no idea to this day what the cops said to him, but whatever they did, it worked. He helped bring me back to my house safely. And come to find out, Sarah, Amber, and Maggie were all in on it. They knew that he was obsessed with me and planned it so that I would spend the weekend with him instead of them. We pressed charges, but he really only got a slap on the wrist, but he's not allowed within 50 feet of me or to live in the same town or city as I am. Even though this happened when I was 18, it still haunts me at 28. Please speak up if you feel like something is wrong. Follow me on Instagram and DM me your story just like this one.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A junior in high school was home alone working on a paper while his parents were out to dinner. All night he sits with his back to his door, sitting at his desk with his noise-canceling headphones on. Around 11 o'clock he takes his headphones off at the same time his parents are returning to the house, and he hears his mom from downstairs yell, "Hey Adrian, what happened?" Confused, he runs downstairs and sees right away what she's looking at, muddy footprints all over the rug. He tells her, "I didn't leave my desk." And then they realize someone must have broken in. They look at the footprints and there's none leaving the house. They're worried someone's still in the house, so they run into the garage, terrified, call the police. Police arrive and they don't find anyone in the house, but they do make a chilling discovery upstairs. The police bring them to the kid's bedroom door, which had been left open all night, and they point to the message written on it in Sharpie. This is the actual transcript of what was written on his door, which means for nearly 2 hours, someone stood in this kid's doorway watching him.
Storytime on how I got caught for not eating breakfast. My bus used to come at 8:50 and I would wake up at 8:30. By the time I came downstairs, it would be like 2 minutes until the bus arrived. So as a sneaky kid I was, I took the cereal that my mom put in the dish and put it back in the container. And I did the same exact thing every day because I'd always wake up late. Until one day, my mom decides to mix 2 different cereal types into a bowl. So me, thinking I'm the sneakiest kid ever, put it back into a cereal container with just one brand of cereal. And then I kept getting the same mixture and I put it back. And then one day I came from school. Go to part 2 to see what happens next. Part 2 on how I got caught for not eating breakfast. So I come home one day and my mom is like, "We need to talk." And I was like, about what? And she was like, "I'm not dumb. I know that you're not eating breakfast." We had a long chat and I learned my lesson. Don't try to be sneaky.